What's up, Girl Scouts? What y'all into? Hey guys, we're gonna get this party started right here in a second. We've always got my cohort here, Mister Dungeon. He's gonna come over and try to help a brother ask some questions of a pretty good feller here in the YouTube community and the RC community, guys. If you ever think that you need a bunch of money and be able to buy a bunch of stuff for these cars, well, this fella right here, Mister Waffles RC, is a man to tell you that you don't have to, because you can make just about anything you want if you want to. If you don't have the knowledge, you can learn to get the knowledge, and if you don't have the tools, you'll figure it out to get the tools. Ain't that right, Mike?
Yep. You don't need the fanciest tools. You don't need 3D printers. Like, everything I'm doing is just with two tools, basically a cutoff wheel and a welder.
Yeah, guys. He's pretty much redneck, I think, because he don't need no damn tape measure, square, nothing like that. But I did see him once or twice need a square.
Well, yeah, you need to make sure that it's squared up, but I don't use the measurements on it. That's
there you
trick.
go.
I burned most of them off from welding up against them. So
right. Yep. Hey, we got about 6 people in here, 7 now. Hey, it's pretty good. Earl, Denny, Alex, and who else we got up in here? Anybody? See, nothing stock. He's in here. Yep. Andy Ritchie ain't made it back yet. So, but guys, I want y'all to know something. Y'all heard how, well, you two have. Well, Dungeon has you, and I filled you a little bit in there, Mike. And most of the people in the chat have. There's Arizona Desert Rider. Know that I got into the community because I was going to start with my grandson and stuff, and started learning and watching. And your channel I come across whenever I was learning. My brain. Hold on. There, did you see it? It went out that ear. I was researching on what I wanted to buy and how I was going to get into the community, and I come across your page, and I started watching, and it showed me that I didn't have to have all the money that I thought I was going to buy parts, because some of this stuff can be manufactured at home out of whatever you got, and will work. And it really made me decide to start the YouTube channel after sliding sideways. Skevy Skev let me on his live one night as a goofy. I mean, he screwed up. He's the one that started all this stuff. Him and Jason's RC and them fellers over there with the Mofo community. And I was really, man, I really wanted to get you on the podcast because, dude, you build some stuff, man. I mean,
oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I try to do, especially to show people that, like, if you are relatively creative enough and you have a few tools, you can make almost anything for these RCs. Obviously, the harder stuff like axles, differentials, that's where you're getting into real trick.
Right, or the electrical motors and stuff.
Yeah, but
that's
like
the problem I have.
Making a chassis, I don't know. I just made one for the build that I'm currently filming right now. I just made that one in about an hour and a half. Just the basic, nothing super crazy, but just the basic layout.
Little hint on what it is?
It's going to be another.
Because I can't remember if you said on this morning's show or not.
So it's going to be another one of these, but not with. I'm making another mud chassis frame, but not with this Sen Racing body.
Right. Yeah, those Sen trucks, they're unique. Let's just put it that way. I like the bodies on them and stuff, but Dungeon's been fighting one of them for about the last 6 months.
Been
fighting it. Yeah.
After buying lockers, front and rear, and transmission parts, and why in the world they call that thing a crawler is beyond me, because it's definitely not a crawler.
But I'll tell you what, they make a beautiful body on them trucks.
Well, the only thing on that truck that is Sen Racing is the body.
That's what I thought. Nothing else. Yeah. The rest of it's Waffles RC and whatever he can source. He's like you, Dungeon. He and me. I just don't have an account with him.
Here's the Sen Racing.
Yeah.
Here's nothing else of it. So AR
Yep.
knockoff AR60 axles. I did do their bumpers, but
Yeah.
completely made the whole chassis to get it taller. I put the transfer case up and down just like a real truck or a monster truck.
Right, right.
Ran the oh, you can't see it there. A 3-gear axial style transmission and a motor for a Traxxas, like a Spectrum, but for the Slash. So it's a faster motor.
Dude, you wait till just wait till I show you something here in a minute.
Yeah, this thing does about 25 miles an hour. So
They got the 21 turn motor in it.
What does it have in it? It's the 4,000 kV.
Okay,
So,
that's what.
The vanilla?
I'm sorry.
The brushless?
Yeah, brushless.
Oh, okay, it's brushless.
That's what I thought it was.
Okay.
He said brushless. Yeah.
I didn't hear that part. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm running the brushed.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, there is absolutely nothing Sen racing about
Look
this.
at that frame.
Yeah, that's what
Look at that.
That's what I'm in the middle of making right now.
Right.
Don't really want to show the body because that's
yeah. No. I just wanted to hint. You didn't even have to show me.
Well, that's still not it. That's just the one I already made. But that was actually the first handmade RC that I ever made was that truck.
That's what I thought. I didn't see that episode until later.
Well, no, I never even filmed it.
Has it not been on any of them? Okay, my bad.
The finalized truck has been on film a bunch of times.
Okay, and you mentioned it.
Yeah, I never filmed it. I think I didn't start filming the actual RCs until the white Tacoma that I made. But at that point, I had the 4-wheel steer Jeep, the Traxxas Bronco. That was my very first one. Was the Traxxas Bronco. That's what got me into why am I spending this much money? And my hauler that I made with the gooseneck trailer. But the Bronco is what started this whole thing. And then the only reason why I started a YouTube channel was I was trying to show my family and friends that live out in Arizona and just all over the state here in California. I couldn't figure out how to just email them a video of what I was working on. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll make a YouTube channel, and just did a couple of funny videos, like my very first ones. And I'm like, okay, my family and friends will watch it. And all of a sudden I'm at a demolition derby one weekend and it just went, 8 subscribers to 800 over in just one weekend.
Wait, dude.
Yeah, it was incredible. And it was just off of a video of me just showing off the RCs, like just doing a quick little walkthrough of like, this is what I made, this is what I have. And then
no kidding.
Tumbled out of control.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. I started
it's
off
what people watch sometimes to me, like some of the things you wouldn't think would be like people like those videos blow up, like videos that you wouldn't think would.
Yeah. My best performing video so far was my trailer video.
Yeah,
the one
I can see that.
The first trailer that I made for the
hauler, two muddies. Yep.
Yeah, the rusted out trailer. That thing within what was it? I think the first month it wound up getting up to 70,000 views.
Oh,
I can see why, man. That I watched that one intently because that was sweet.
And I didn't think that one was going to do very well. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, it's making a bunch of square boxes and trying to make what would look like would be a real trailer. And it just went off. And I realized, oh, there's a lot of people out there that don't realize you can make your own trailer. And then, of course,
I had 3 started.
Then I had to be me and put power to the dang thing too. So.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you ever watched Dirt Belly Deluxe or Trailmator on YouTube?
Trailmator, yeah, I watched him.
Okay, well, Mike and Sean, they have their own channel, Dirt Belly Deluxe, and Mike decided he wanted an off-road camper. Well, Mike also decided to throw a wrench in the works, and he wanted a steerable off-road camper. And I started the camper. I've got the frame done. and I'm waiting on Mike. Well, I've got most of the frame done. I'm waiting on Mike to send me the measurements on the trailer because I want to get it as scale as I can. Because he used hydraulic steering in the trailer with electric switch in the truck to make his steer. It's just like us using a daggone servo to make it steer. So where the placement is in the floor of the camper is perfect for the placement of a servo. I mean, it's all worked out, and But I seen you doing that trailer. I was like, well, heck, I said, I'm a carpenter at sorts, and I got a lot of small wood logs, and that'd be a good frame for a little trailer. Steerable, you know. And I said, wait a minute. I think I remember, because this was just a few months after, or a little while after you did the adjustable suspension truck. I was like, 2, 2, 4, yes, it works.
I've just discovered that if you can be creative enough, you can get almost all this stuff to work with basic controls. The adjustable suspension, that one was just, it was a challenge for me just because I saw whatever that kit was that cost like $4,000 that has the adjustable suspension and it simulates like real suspension, like you can stiffen it or soften it. I'm like,
the Scale Builders Guild had that on one of the Toyota Mojave, the RC four-wheel drive trucks. That was crazy.
And don't get me wrong, it's super cool, but
yeah,
that's twice as much as what my commuter car costs. So
that's insane.
Right.
But when I was looking at it, I watched a video of somebody else. I saw Scale Builders Guild, but I saw somebody else like actually take the body off and you could see what was going on. And I looked at it, I was like, those are just servos.
Yeah.
So why can't I want adjustable suspension. I think it would be funny. And I was like, well, if it's just servos, then I can figure out how to just put the shocks on the servo horns and make it adjustable. And so, yeah, it doesn't do all the crazy stuff that other kit can do, but
it's still.
That one had like a microprocessing unit and stuff in it, didn't it? For that's what I thought. I remember watching it a while back, and I thought 4K, no.
Yeah, that's how most of this stuff is like.
Yeah,
to me,
it's
like, it's really cool, but I don't think I can put the suspension kit in an RC car that costs twice as much as my commute vehicle. Like, I don't even put that kind of money into my commute vehicle, let alone into.
Same here. Yep.
You sure you wasn't raised in West Virginia? It sounds like he is, don't it?
My everyday driver cost $1,100, and I drove it for 6 years.
I've had mine. My car was, he listed it for 25. I talked him down to 22. I've driven it for, this is the third year now that I've had it, and I've put maybe $600 into it. And the thing just runs and drives. It's got 289,000 miles on it.
What is it? I can't remember.
It's a little Acura CL. It's actually one of the worst cars that I've ever, or not the worst cars. It's a great car, but it was the worst mistake that I ever made buying a car for a commute vehicle.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently that thing's rarer than Ferraris.
Dude, depends on. Yeah, but you said Acura, right? That's the upgrade Hondas, like the Lexus is Toyota. So yeah.
Well, this one is a 1-year model car, and they only made 3,500 of them.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty rare vehicle.
That's like that one you were just talking about there a while ago, Dungeon, at that AMX or whatever.
Oh yeah, I had the Ranchero GT with the AMX.
Ranchero,
yeah.
But what didn't your dad have one of the rare AMX?
Oh, you're talking. Yeah, my dad had one of the real rare, the AMC AMX.
AMC,
Yeah. Had the 401, I believe, in it, 4-speed. It was actually by mistake. The car was never supposed to have the setup that came in that where it was bought from the AMC dealer. They made a mistake. It was supposed to have a 360 in it, and it came when he went to pick it up. They had upgraded it to the 401. I believe is what was in that one. I'm pretty sure it was the 401.
Heck yeah. That's
That
awesome,
car
though,
was
man.
insane, man. That thing was insane how it run.
So,
Yeah,
Mike,
just
how long you been in the hobby?
honestly, only about 2.5 years.
Okay, so I'm about a year or so behind you.
Yeah, I
You have them as kids, like toys and stuff, or
yeah,
just didn't
I
mess with
grew
them?
up with all the toy grade stuff, and I had a gas powered RC boat that I could never get to run correctly. I think I drove it like full on and ran a full tank of nitro through it, maybe once out of the 3 years that I had the thing.
Yeah.
Um, but as I got older, started building the bigger trucks and having a lot of fun with those. And then um, I'd always looked at the Traxxas and had always looked into getting a crawler, and I just never pulled the trigger. And then finally one year I was like, oh, I got a Christmas bonus. Let me get that Bronco that I've been looking at for the last 4 years.
Right.
And so got that, and then it's just kind of snowballed since then.
Oh, and it does, don't it?
Oh yeah. Except for the 24 scale. I don't know how you guys can do those things. Like I
Well,
struggle
I
with
don't.
these things.
Dungeon's the same way, but see, you all got to go
I
outside
don't.
in the cold and the hot and the rain and the snow to play with yours. I take mine to the Cracker Company coal mine right over here in the
What are
corner
you
of my
talking
room.
about? I only need a forklift to move mine.
Oh yeah, I mean, what, 50-some pounds?
Okay. 50
Hey,
pounds and
and
trying to move that thing.
that was a pretty oh shoot, I know what word I'm trying to think of, and there goes the CPU not working. A bold try. How many was it? 6 people and yourself, or 6 counting you whenever you smoked that motor in it?
Oh, it was 5 kids, me, and another adult on
It was trying.
skateboards, scooters, whatever. But
Now that one there, the motor that's in it now, did pulled his wife just fine.
oh yeah, that
On
was
his live the other night. Yeah.
maybe 8th throttle, if even.
Yeah.
So I went with that bigger motor on purpose.
Right. Of
But
course.
I
He did have a dual motor set up in it, Dungeon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
not a very
when it
good
burned.
one considering
Yeah.
I kept frying motors.
I would just wonder if that wasn't maybe part of maybe the ESC problem with it or something.
I
Because
honestly think it was the way that I had it wired up to the receiver. I did my research and tried to figure it out of how to
Mhm.
run 2 ESCs
right,
because they're both of these are 2-in-1s.
right. That's was that the Hobby Wings
No,
or
these
the
are the
Spectrums?
Spectrums.
Spectrums.
But I don't know. It always fried one motor, not both of them. It always just fried one, and I did it to what I thought
Hmm.
was supposed to be correct, and I got tired of blowing motors, and I actually have an event that thing is going to that I haven't mentioned to anybody. It's actually going to a tow truck expo in Las Vegas.
Oh heck, that'd be
Nice.
sweet.
So that is actually going to be at the Zach Lift booth at the tow truck expo.
Okay, I've heard of Zach lifts. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
gonna be sweet, man. Heck yeah,
because
you heard it here first, folks.
yeah, because when I was building that thing, I contacted Zach Lift because I wanted to put their name on it. And I was
Right.
calling it a Zach Lift. I'm like, wait, I'm doing this stuff on the internet. Maybe I should be nice. Or
Yeah, I better
smart.
watch out. I'll get hit with copyrights or something.
Yeah. So I emailed them, told him what I was doing, showed him some pictures, and he watched the video and then gave me a call because I left my phone number. And he's like, that thing is absolutely awesome. And so we talked back and forth and figured out when I would be able to get that thing to a show. And the closest one that I could get to is going to be in Vegas. So then I
I
had to
bet you
ask
was
him.
very upset that it was Vegas, right?
Well, for me, it's close. He wanted it to
Yeah.
go to a show in Baltimore. He's like, hey, do you
Oh
think you
God,
could
that's
ship
out past us.
Yeah. And he's like, do you think you could ship it out? I'm like, no.
No,
It
50
costs like
pounds. No,
$400 just to ship that thing.
Oh, every bit of, yeah.
and plus, you know how well they treat their packages in these shipping companies. They treat them so well.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's me and the trucker going to a tow truck expo, and I have to drive that thing in when all the big trucks are driving in, because you're not allowed to just carry something like that, and I can't.
Right. I watched you pick it up, dude, and that's the reason I was thinking it was heavier than what you said it was. I was like, wow.
No, that it is heavy, but luckily I put a tow truck boom on it, so it makes a really good handle.
Oh yeah, you walk it like a dog too.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that tow truck body is detachable, so you've seen it with the trailer.
Yeah.
So
That's
you can
sweet.
detach it, but when it's attached through the fifth wheel and then 2 bolts on the front. So like that thing's
Oh yeah,
not big.
that's solid.
Yeah. But now
I
it's got
hear
a
you.
motor in it, and we're going to RC Fest next weekend.
Yeah, I
And
remember you saying that. Now, where's that at? Is that there in California? Or?
yeah, it's up in Sacramento, up at Folsom Lake. So
Okay.
I went last year. It's actually a really cool event. It's completely free minus parking, but
Right.
it's
That's
literally,
awesome.
yeah, you bring your RC. They got a crawler area. They have 24 scale stuff that they set up, like courses, kind of like what you have right there.
Right.
They got drifting, boats, airplanes,
Oh yeah.
expos.
I
Like
watched the
last,
video footage from that. It's real nice there.
yeah, it was. I had a lot of fun last year, and so I'm going again this year, and I'm bringing that thing. And I was just talking to my wife last night. I'm like, I have to make sure I don't try and pull something stupid like a full size truck and blow the thing up before I need to take it to Vegas.
Right. Now, I have seen people do it.
I have,
I've seen people
have
do it
too.
with some small vehicles.
Yeah, there
One
was.
of the Mofo family community, Matt Wolf, Sinister Customs X24. There's a video of him with his 24 scale sitting on a skateboard and it pulling him anywhere he wanted to go. And he's also got one that
I've
does
seen
40
that.
mile an hour. He's got one that does 40 mile an hour now too. I believe he's pushing for just a wee bit more, he said.
Yeah,
It's amazing when those guys get out those 24 scales.
yeah. Whenever I build stuff like this, whether it was the hauler or this thing, I always test it out. Like, will it move me?
Yeah.
Because if it can move 200 pounds, and that's just proving to everybody else that it weighs 50 pounds, it's heavy. But if it can pull itself plus me,
Yep. That's 3 times
I think
itself.
it'll be fine to pull. Yeah, it'll be able to pull 4 RC cars, no issues.
Oh no issues at all. Now, do you have a trailer that holds 4, or is it just 2? You had you've got
the new trailer.
I'm trying to think.
Well, I got 3 trailers now.
Right.
The trailer that I built for that can handle 3.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
The rusty one that has the foldable ramps that can hold 2, and the original gooseneck trailer that I have can handle 2.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, that the 2 older trailers were 2 each. Sorry.
Yeah. The hauler with the rusty truck and the trailer can hold 3 total, because you can get 1 on the truck.
Right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Coffee Cup, Crawdaddy, wait a minute, Full Send RC. Sorry, man, I can't hardly read. Mayhem's in here too. Mayhem Crawlers. What's up, y'all? And so I just lost my train of thought. It went out both ears. Y'all should have seen it. The headphones probably went like that. We were talking earlier. So you was in the auto industry.
Yep.
That where you pretty much.
I did basic automotive for probably 8 years. Then did tow truck driving for about 2 years, and then
my daughter's a tow truck driver in Arizona.
Yeah, and then for 4 years I worked at a off-road shop here in the town that I live in, where we just took stock vehicles and lifted them. And so
I hear you. Heck yeah!
And I've grown up,
Scav sliding sideways in the house.
And I've grown up essentially around cars my entire life. So my dad had me do a tire rotation on his F-350 crew cab dually when I was 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
Hey, man, a lot of the
tires weighed as much as you did.
Generation needs that, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's the way I was.
That's why I love.
Probably weighed like about as much as you did, didn't they, Mike?
Oh yeah, no, it was not easy. But then after that, I got into doing. He got me into doing electrical. So automotive electrical, I love, absolutely love doing automotive electrical.
Really? See, I don't mind speakers. I don't mind speakers. Yeah. Amen to that.
Aftermarket stuff, diagnosing. No, that goes to a shop. They'll diagnose that, but
yeah, diagnosing electrical problems. Oh my heavens.
Yeah, in cars these days. I mean, look, we go try to diagnose electrical problems in our tiny trucks all the time.
They're bad enough.
Yeah. You're telling me.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You haven't been around long enough to know anything about PMAX. PMAX is an axe 24, which PMAX is an analogy of pain in my axe, because I didn't know coming into the hobby that I didn't know jack about nothing. Sure as I know. I mean, I didn't know nothing about tiny trucks, and I bought this truck because I knew I was going to have to learn this truck, because the X24 is the worst 24 scale crawler out of the box on the planet. Until
I agree.
until you fix it. I mean, straight up, dude. It won't do 33 degrees side hill. It won't do 45 degrees on a vertical without flopping over and flopping like a fish. But
none of mine will do it. But mine are all made out of metal, so
well, side hills and stuff, actually the weight does help. But I didn't know
weight down low does,
current draw, I didn't know about the current draw and stuff that the ESCs this size take, and this, that, and the other. So I started throwing mods on it. I put servos and a bigger torque motor. Well, I didn't realize that it took more than 20 amps to supply power to those 3 motors, because 3 electric motors. And I had this thing all whacked out. I mean, I fought it for 6 months just because of everybody, not anybody here in this group, but or in the chat or anything, but was telling me all the MB100, MB100, MB100. Well, not with 2 high torque ramp crab 6 kg servos and a Torque Beast 50 motor for a mofo. They draw too much power, and it was making my ESC freak out and brown out and this, that, and the other. And thank goodness to James RC Garage, he finally helped me figure it out, because we messed with it for 3 or 4 lives at least, trying to figure it out. And the electrical problems with these are a pain in the butt, and that's what that's where my
a BEC on it though.
Yeah, well, I could have, and that would have helped. I wished I would have.
I was just curious.
Oh no, you can. It would have helped if I would have got a 5 amp BEC.
Yeah.
Because those servos, they need 5 amp because they're actually a direct powered servo.
Yeah, and direct power eats it up.
Let's just put it this way, Mike. I have learned a plethora, college word of the day, Skev, of knowledge from these guys learning this stuff, because I tend to tear stuff up. I'm Nathan. Heavy right foot. And anybody that's watching or ever does, if y'all remember me back in the day, I got a heavy foot. And they've all helped me out a lot.
Yeah, see that's what I found really good about this community is everybody, like, if you find the right people, they'll help you out. And I know a lot of people come to me asking questions, but like on certain things, like all that electrical that you're talking about, like I have no idea what.
Right.
Like, YouTube is so much better, man, than Facebook, in my opinion. The community on YouTube is way better.
And I don't know if you're on Facebook or not. I didn't ask you, but if you are on Facebook and you've ever been in any of the groups, you know that there's the Corvette guys or the basement dweller, mommy house basement dwellers that like stirring shit, and I put them in their place. And a lot of them don't like it. I don't care if they got a YouTube channel or not, or how big their YouTube channel is. You go treat somebody disrespectfully, I'm going to call you out on it. And especially if it was me.
Now, on my channel, luckily, a lot of my subscribers and especially a lot of people that comment, everybody is always super nice, very friendly, and especially like if I don't get to somebody's question, like somebody else will pop in, or I'll try and address it in the next video. But like the community that we have over here at Waffles RC, and that I've noticed on a lot of the smaller channels like me, like you get a lot more community feel rather than just like you're saying the Corvette guys. I refer to it as the Jeep guys.
Hey, there's one. But he's not a dick. Well, I mean, he could be, but you know, he's not. He tries to help.
Go Jeeps, not Stellantis, not the new stuff. I mean, AMC.
I like Jeeps just as much as everybody else, but there's a difference that I've found in everything when it comes to perfectionism. Like, it doesn't always have to be name brand, best of this, best of that. Like, do what you're.
I left the Jeep groups because you had the JK and the JL guys. When you show up in a CJ5 with a built 360 in it and fender well headers and straight pipes, and you know, a lot of that stuff's kind of looked down upon when you got the Mercedes-Benz drivers and the JKs and the JLs and their electric Jeeps now, and you know, all that stuff.
You think you were hated? I had an 87, so that was a square headlight Wrangler. So that was already.
I have two of them.
Yeah, so I had one of those with fuel injection that I put JK axles and 37s on, and still kept it on leaf springs. So I was leaf sprung with square headlights and JK axles. Everyone hated that thing.
Yeah, everybody hates on YJs, dude.
I was always a Ford truck guy.
As much as you hate carburetors, the one saving grace that mine had was a fuel injection conversion.
See, I love carburetors. I don't like fuel.
Oh no, my CJ5's on a sniper kit.
No, it's because the YJs, they had a computer controlled carburetor. Like you couldn't
sort of like that Crossfire fuel injection that Chevrolet had back in the mid 80s.
Yeah. So
hey man, my Crossfire Camaro ran good.
Man, my buddies didn't. It was a pain in the ass. Once they started having problems, that fuel system was hell on wheels. Because that's what it was. He had problems. He had problems with his fuel system, and I'm pretty sure it was probably user error and our error. What's up, Psycho 13 Garage? What's up, Dirk?
Now that 700 R4 transmission didn't hold up worth a damn.
Right.
I dropped 4 of those out in like 2 months.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, I've been in Jeeps and been in them and drove them and four-wheeled the hell out of them.
We have 22.
Man, that's what all that sound is coming from up your ways, all that rust.
They are rusted. It's a Jeep. If you got a Jeep and you say it ain't rusted, you're lying.
You're lying. Well, yeah, at least you're not living in West Virginia. But so you lived out in California all your life?
Yeah. I was born and raised here. I lived in Wyoming for a year, Colorado for a year, and just kind of floated around the West for a while. But eventually just wound up coming back and just been here ever since.
I hear you. I've lived in West Virginia and Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky. Well, Lexington's as far as I went out, but been basically right around here.
And I know everybody has the misconception of Californians being the Californians. Well, guess what? There's rednecks out here too. And
there's rednecks everywhere, baby. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Now the only thing
I had a 77 Dodge Ram when I was younger that the steering wheel, the bolt that holded the steering wheel was stripped, so there was no bolt or no nut on it. So the steering wheel would pop off anytime. Well, I also didn't have keys to the doors, so I couldn't lock the truck. So the way that I locked the truck,
that was your goddamn security system.
I took the steering wheel off, I put it in the toolbox in the bed, and I locked the toolbox.
Hell yeah. That's
what I do with my Jeep. I've got a quick release on it. When I park it, I get out. I pull the steering wheel because there ain't no doors or top on it 24/7 all year long. There's nothing on it.
Y'all's lucky that I use my powers for good, because whenever I was driving before me and the state of West Virginia had a disagreement. Oh, wait a minute. They said that I couldn't drive, and I was like, how in the hell y'all know? You ain't ever rode with me. I laughed. I still went to jail. But I always had a pipe wrench in my truck, or a crescent wrench. And I have used a crescent wrench and a pipe wrench before to steer a vehicle. Now, it wasn't under its own power at the time. It was being pulled, thank God. Because it'd be hell trying to do it, but you can do it.
Oh yeah, no, I had a set on the ground as well in case the steering wheel did pop off in an emergency and I couldn't get it spline back on. Nope, just grab it with the pliers.
Yeah, there you go. So
you really want to scare your passengers going down the highway, just drive along.
Yeah.
Like start messing with you, just pull the steering wheel off, hand it to them, say, "You want to drive?"
I do that to my buddies in the Jeep all the time.
Oh, it's the best reaction, especially on the freeway. I'm just sitting there holding the shaft, just giving them the steering wheel, like you guys do.
Now, the best thing I've ever done similar like that is there's a road right here. Matter of fact, from where I'm at, it's right over the hill from where I'm at. That I know like the back of my hand, you know what I mean? And I'd be going down through the road, pitch black at night, and Hills, West Virginia, it gets dark at night.
Yes, it does.
I'd switch my damn lights off, son, and not even worry about it, and just be, and people would be freaking the hell out. And then I'd come up right here at the bridge where it turns up this way. I'd get right up to the stop sign and turn the lights on right as I'd slam the brakes on. But that's pretty good, pulling the steering wheel off. I mean, that right there is like waking the old lady up with the tandem dump or tractor trailers that's pulling the two tractor trailers behind it, That'd be good. So this being the New Folks podcast and stuff.
When it comes to driving in the dark, I'm quite the opposite because as you can see, we kind of
throw that light.
I have tons of lights on everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those
you get it in these haulers in West Virginia, man. You need the light bars. Believe me.
Oh yeah. I was just saying, I just turned them off and just to scare the people, and that wasn't saying I didn't have. Well, most of the time I didn't have, but I always had a big 1,000,000-watt candle-watt spotlight.
Yeah, that's how I like to scare people. Oh, you think my headlights are bright? Here, let me show you sun.
Yeah. So this being the New Folks podcast and stuff, what's your best advice for somebody getting into the hobby that is wanting to maybe get into it the way that you did by building your own stuff like that?
Honestly, I have actually been thinking about this quite a bit recently, and my number one thing that I always try to tell people is build what you want and build it how you want. Like, if you want to go do competitions, then go check out the channels or forums or whatever, and get the right parts, do the competition stuff. That is absolutely the way to go. But if you're just building it to have fun, just build it to have fun. Like, you don't need a $4,000 ESC or a $500 motor. Like, if you're just out there playing with it, just having fun, then maybe go a little bit cheaper. And be weird, do something a little different from everybody else. That's what I like to show people and tell people on my channel is do what you want to do and how you want to do it. Like,
right.
I take people's advice that they give me in the comments or email me or whatever. And I do take it to heart, and sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I won't. But like people saying that I need to run the Castle motors and like, all the really expensive stuff. In reality, it's like I'm buying cheap stuff off of Amazon and I'm sinking it in the water and I'm beating the ever living heck out of these things. And I'd rather burn up a $150 motor than a $500 motor.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think it's not just the RC community, it's just the automotive community. Everybody's gotten, in my opinion, a lot of people have gotten tied up with the just bolt together, buy the best name brand because you're going to have the best luck with the best name brand. And
that's not always the truth.
Yeah, but I mean, if your pocketbook can afford that, then go ahead and do it. Run the best ESCs and motors that are out there. But I try
sometimes you might be going back to the regular ESCs and motors, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I just think people need to build whatever you want, because then you come up with stuff like this, and just you got to have the whole point of the hobby is to have fun. And if you're stressed out that you're going to crash it, that you're going to scratch it, or what, like, you're not having fun anymore. You're just too worried about the RC.
Like, and I mean, whenever you've got that much money as people put into some of these RCs, I would never take them out and drive them. So what's the use? I'd take them.
I mean, I've got some stuff I've got close to 3K in, and I still take them out and run them.
Oh, I mean, but
it's the other people on the internet that put that much money into them and then never drive them.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
What's the point? Why are you guys telling me to buy this and that, and it's all the really expensive stuff, and then you won't even drive yours for more than like one competition?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of guys listen to a lot of those bigger channels, man, and they're always pushing that stuff. You got to have the 2300 Fusion Pro 2-in-1 hobby wing, and you have to have super name brand tires. That's just, I've had just as good of luck with $15, $20 tires on AliExpress if you do the research as buying Proline G8 or Predator compounds at $75 a set of tires.
Yep, you're right.
I think I only have one set of real like name brand tires out of all of my RCs. The rest of them are literally, what does the lug pattern look like? What am I going to be doing with it? How cheap can I get it?
Right. Yep. And depending on your terrain and what you're wanting to do with the vehicle, then the tire compound material does come into effect. But
big time.
There are some mods that you can do with some of the cheaper tires. He has shown a lot of us, and I got one that works pretty good too. It hadn't been verified by a bunch of people yet, but I'm sure it will. We'll get it here pretty soon.
It's hard to get the cheaper stuff to catch on because everybody is so set on paying $80, $90 for them expensive 3D printed inserts. Because those guys at the comps are running that stuff that take it serious, so they push that stuff.
Yeah,
team driving.
Yeah. Which is all great and well, especially if that's where you want to, if that's the direction you want to take yourself into the hobby. If you want to go do the competitions and be up with the big boys, then yeah, you're going to have to run some more pricey parts and better electronics. Right. But like I have my one competition build that I did was the red Volvo. Which is absolutely awesome, but it's all Amazon parts except for the chassis, which is a Black Sheep chassis. Reached out to me. I talked with them, and I wanted one of their chassis, and I was like, I don't know how to set this thing up. And they're like, I got you. He emailed me a whole list of how to, like, what parts to get to fully set that thing up, and they were all Amazon parts, nothing like super big name brand. I got a $25 motor in the thing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Like, it's incredibly capable, and I absolutely love the thing. And like, I'm just experiencing another side of it. Like, it's a comp build. It's a flat chassis, carbon fiber. I didn't weld anything on it, which was really weird.
I bet that was.
Because I like welding on stuff. But like, you just have to build it how you want it and have fun with it. Like,
I had a friend build a Gen 7 and go to the state certified Sorca comps here in West Virginia, and he was going against guys that had $5,000-$6,000 tied up in custom carbon fiber chassis, LCG, angled skid rigs, and everything. And he blowed through everybody with a cheap built Gen 7, just cheap parts he bought off of Amazon, cheap axles, went through first place all year round. I mean, it's just what you put into it. You can make anything work if you work hard enough at it. I mean, you just got to be willing to modify it, But, guys took offense that he did that too. So, because they had $5,000 trucks and he showed up with a $300 or $400 rig.
Which to me, that's just showing them up by saying, well, I didn't need to spend $5,000 and refinance my house to build an RC.
It shows that if you got the brain and want to do it, that you can do it. And I'll tell you what, whenever I first got this thing right here, it was an Everest 10 that I got off of one of our buddies, and Dungeon had worked on it. Well, I ended up trading around getting a Gen 7 frame. And rust bucket don't have no heart. Oh, I forgot I took it out. I forgot I took it out, Fred. I was going to do that skid, but I've got a 21 turn Traxxas motor in it. I cut about 3 rounds off of the springs and took the bottom spring retainers off to where it would hang down and droop down, because these things sit up so high. And they do good, but they don't have a whole lot of side hill and stuff. Well, now where this thing sits lower, it does way better on the side hill. It don't want to turn over. It's got some lights in it with the disco ball. All right, now here's the deal. There's another trailer build on the way that it's already got the disco ball. Oh, where the heck? Really? You're going to do this to me? Aha! And I took a Bluetooth speaker that I had. Hold on. And I rednecked it up a little bit. Hold on, I'll show you. And I keep forgetting to solo anybody whenever I'm a good host, let me tell you. But it was a Bluetooth speaker. And it was plug and play to beat it all. So I didn't have to do nothing, just take it out of the original surrounding and put it in a set of Mofo X15 axle box. Fits. There's 2 speakers, the Bluetooth unit, and the 18650 battery, all rechargeable. Made it for this, and I'm making a trailer to put this on, because these things weigh so daggone much. There's no way in heck you could ever use it, actually crawl with it. You know what I mean? So I'm building a trailer for it to put these on, and I ended up somehow I acquired a bunch of round plywood discs from somebody, a neighbor across the street, I think. And it's going to be my off-road stripper trailer. It's going to be lit up with the poles. It's going to have a pole. It's got the speakers. And, you pull up onto the hill at the party spot, by golly, and she just jumps out and starts stripping. Well, the thing is, you can put her in the daggone parade, too, because whenever you pull the trailer, the stripper pole, or the stripping platform is going to spin because of the, turning.
I like that shit.
I mean, what the hell? Why not? I mean,
that's just having fun, bro. That's what it should be about.
I actually did the same thing with the semi. I took this Bluetooth speaker, hooked it up to my phone, and just shoved it in there.
Yeah.
And was just blasting music up and down my street, and all the neighbors were just laughing at me.
Now you put a light kit in there for the engine sounds, right? I mean, a sound kit in there for the engine sounds, right?
Yeah, it has a sound kit for the engine,
right?
And it actually works correctly now with this particular motor that's in it.
Well, I remember it sounded good. I mean, it was loud.
It did sound
real loud.
It did sound good. It is really loud. I have the speaker basically pointed down because the sleeper is hollow.
Yeah. Right.
So there's nothing underneath it directly down. So just, the sound reverbs down off the ground.
And then where it doesn't have a bottom in it, it's reverbing through. I mean, it's coming through the cab itself. Yeah, making it louder, projecting it.
But
Coffee Cup RC, I'm with you right there. No reason to build a shelf queen.
Yeah.
No.
But I just thought you would find that pretty interesting, because this one has a 21 turn T-word motor in it out of a Slash.
T-word. And I'm gonna patent that T-word.
I mean, I'm telling you, right? I'm just giving them a hard time for one simple fact, is that they haven't done what they did to make the hobby what it is and make themselves what they are. They became the leader in the industry because of the innovation. And what have they innovated in the last 10 years besides clipless bodies? That 2-wheel drive buggy that they just come out with is the most innovative thing that they've done. And then
it should be for $2,000.
I was getting ready to say, price of a daggone used car, but they at least listen to me. Yeah, they listen to the little redneck. Yeah, I can always dream, right?
They make nice products, though.
They do, and they're solid. Mike, how
They're
much did
actually
you
under
end
that
up having in
TRX
your
system.
Xmax when you built it? Because he built an Xmax from a ground up dungeon.
So when I added it all up, I think it was around $1,100. So about the same price as a stock one.
Right.
But the way
You
that I
built it.
justified it, yeah, well, the way I justified it was all with upgraded parts. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't spend $1,100 and then go get the new
Then go and
motor,
upgrade. Right.
all the steel parts, which everybody still keeps saying that I should get rid of the aluminum control arms, and yet they do perfectly fine.
They do hold up. What brand of the control arms did you get? Did you get Traxxas brand or?
No, there's some off-brand.
Okay.
Are they FLM?
No, I don't think so. I actually, it's at work right now, so I can't even look at it.
But I do know one thing from bashing, because I've got one back here that is down at the moment, but it's not because of bashing. It's because it just wore a part out. But plastic parts where they are good is in the parts that are extended away from the frame. And you gotta have a fail point somewhere.
You gotta have a break point, yeah.
And it seems to me that the plastic control arms and stuff hold up better on the bashers and stuff than the metal, because the aluminum will bend and not break. Yeah. Well, bend and break, but
I've seen everybody saying that, and I've seen the reviews on them too.
Right.
And or people testing them and showing that. And in all honesty, I know I can get the plastic ones really cheap.
Right. It looks good. I know that. I mean, that's a damn good looking Xmax you built, and it seems like it performs very good.
Yeah, but it does look good. But at the same time, I'm not going to replace the arms until they're broke.
Right. Hey, 100%. Yeah. No. I wasn't saying take them off now and put plastics on them. I was just saying that you might end up having a problem with them. But here, I'm going to quantify that is I drive very badly for the performance abilities of my fast cars. My driving ability does not match. Your driving ability may match compared.
Oh, I cannot.
The stock electronics in those Xmaxes, man. That's why I got rid of mine, because I had a brand new one, just all stock. It held up fine, I beat the tits off of it, and I had very little problems with it, but I just felt like it was underpowered. The stock Traxxas electronics in it, servo failures every other run. The stock motor, they get hot. Mine got hot pretty often. And I just felt like it was underpowered. I mean, I drove my buddies with the Hobby Wing. What was it? Max 8? I don't know. It was the Hobby Wing upgrade system. And it was night and day. I just don't feel as you should spend $1,700 for a truck and then buy $500-600 worth of electronics to get it to perform the way it should out of the box for that kind of price.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just what.
When I was doing the research and building it, that's what I was noticing the most, that people were complaining about the servos, the motor. And I read a lot about that Hobby Wing ESC motor upgrade, and that's the one that I got.
Yeah.
They're awesome, dude. It's night and day difference. It's like 3 times the power. Just driving my buddy's truck, like I could literally take off and pin mine, and half throttle, he would just blow by me on the back wheels. I mean, that's the only downfall I ever seen with the Xmax. Other than that, I mean, my gosh, dude, 30-40 foot jumps with that thing. I never had no breakages. I would jump and land so hard the body would blow off because the clip system wouldn't hold the body on tight enough. But that's me being stupid, so I can't.
Yeah, I sent Turtleator for 47 foot. Well, she hit and then rolled 3 times to the 47 foot. But right here in the front yard, almost bounced her over the fence and hit the neighbor's car. And that's the Rollarlo Omni Terminator. The bodies on them were junk, so it was gone. So I replaced it with a Proline 10 scale Raptor body. And I didn't put the roof racks and stuff on it, so it didn't have the right geometry to where it would self-right again. So you know how it always is. You're driving a fast car. It's always going to wreck at the very end of the place that you're driving it, and not.
I will tell you that self-righting on the Xmax will blow dips up, because that's the only problem that I had. Well, my buddy had with his using the self-righting when he would get himself. He wouldn't walk up to the truck, man, that self-righting, it killed the diffs on that. I never had a diff failure, and I never used the self-righting feature. And every time we would go out, he would use that self-righting feature. And every time, when we were bashing hard, he would have it blow diff out. And I know that's what was killing the differential in his Xmax.
I'll guarantee you 100% that's what
I'm
has
sure
went
of it.
wrong with the drive outputs, the drive cups on Turtleator. Is whenever I first had it, I was doing that, and then it just slowly wore it out, and that's the reason
It's hard on the drive line.
Yeah, it's hard on the drive line because it's got no load on it.
Dink, 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 dink. Yeah, I mean,
they're going full throttle off,
hard off, and then reverse direction. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
we blowed
and stuff. It's gonna make them rock and tear each other up. That's the way with the drive cups. With the
he blowed off a set of belted. I don't know what brand tires he had on it. He blowed off a set of belted with that Max Max system. I'm like, dude, just walk over and get the truck, man. He blowed them. Those belted tires he had on that thing were like $180, $160 for the wheels and tires.
Now. Sound like
it's self-righted. Well, that's if you got money to do it, sure.
Yeah. But that's where the Turtleator body come from. I made that out of a placard for a chemical tanker. It was as a joke because I called it Turtleator, because it'd always turtle over.
I think it's badass though, man. You made that.
Oh my God, I couldn't use it because you'd put it on that thing and get it to speed, and it'd take off like a damn airplane. But that was good. That was good advice there a minute ago. Is there anything that the RC manufacturer realm, the RC gods, the RC god manufacturers could do to further the hobby that you think they could do? Something they could do as manufacturers in the hobby to help the hobby grow and not being drop the price, because everybody wants it to be cheaper, but we know we'll never get that.
Yeah, that's been the one that's stumping me, honestly.
Really?
Mainly because I don't buy a lot of this stuff from like big name factories.
Right, yeah. You buy aftermarket stuff. I understand that.
Like making it cheaper, obviously that's what everybody would want, but you know, we got to live in the world that we're in, not the world that we imagine. But I think it's more, I don't know. I can't really say too much against any of the.
Well, I wasn't meaning to call out any brands or anything. Just overall as an industry.
No,
I'll say it. They're overpriced.
Yeah. I mean, they are overpriced, especially for like the whole reason why I started making my own was buying the TRX and then buying all the upgrades. Like I spent the same amount in upgrades as I did on the RC. And then I was sitting there looking at it afterwards. I'm like, yeah, this thing's really cool. Wait a minute. There's not much of the T word left in this thing.
Yeah, I got it. Yes, the word.
On my Bronco, literally, I'm pretty sure the only thing left on it that's Traxxas is the chassis.
I hear you.
It's got no shift servos anymore. No, it does have the shift servos. It doesn't have lock, like it's permanently lock spooled, so the servo locks are out of it. The electronics are changed because, well, I caught it on fire.
I've done that.
But yeah, other than the body and the chassis, there's really not much left in it. Like it's upgraded axles, upgraded wheels and tires, everything like that. Andy, yes.
Mr. Andy Ritchie's in the house.
Andy Ritchie is one of my.
He was here at about 45 minutes before the show waiting on us, and he said he'd be back after that.
Andy Ritchie is one of mine and my wife's favorite commenters. He always leaves a comment on every video. He's always so positive, and he ends it with peace and chicken grease.
Yep, every time, man.
So thank you very much, Andy. Absolutely love that man.
Yeah, he's good. He's good people. He's part of the mofo. Damn it! Come on, brain. I call it mofo mafia, but it's mofo misfit mafia.
But yeah, I guess I don't know. I can't really specifically point out one thing that the manufacturers can do other than price, like to make the industry better and more inclusive. Like I mean,
Right.
they all do their own thing pretty dang well in all reality. If you look at it, like Axial does a great job with what they're trying to do,
Right.
and
Right.
quality wise, I'm seeing good quality through it. Other than everybody upgrades them, but it
Even the
also,
off-brand stuff has came a long ways.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
even in
I
the
mean,
short couple years that I've been in the industry, like just noticing the quality getting better and on all fronts. So I guess I don't know. I can't answer that one to be completely honest. It's
I hear you. I hear
when
woo
I
I
woo.
think
Who's
they
got
could
the
include better electronics in them. I would rather pay more money for a truck out of the box that just had the way everybody just slaps 2-in-1 systems in there, as cheap as those SE systems are from Hobby Wing, because that's the majority of what everybody that's on a budget goes down to is either a 1200 Hobby Wing SE or an 1800, or, what it'd add, 80, $90, $100 to the price of something. We're already overpaying for them. We might as well pay the extra $100 to have the system.
well, I
right,
guess
right.
on that front, I mean, what's the first thing on the T words on the crawlers? What's the first thing that everybody replaces? The steering servo, and they replace
Yeah,
them with a steering servo that's cheaper than the
yeah,
one that's for
Yeah.
that. So I agree with that 100%. Like at least do a little bit better of a steering servo, because then you won't have people going out and saying, "Oh, my steering servo's crap. I'm going to go buy
yep.
one that's half the price and it's going to last twice as long."
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
literally a $20 steering servo from AliExpress is 4 times better servo than comes on any of the Traxxas models. I mean, I
Yeah.
know I have 4 of them sitting over here. The only crazily, and I don't understand the difference. I have a TRX6 hauler that I've beat the every mortal love and piss out of for the last 4 years, 3 years, 3 years, and something about the steering servo in that hauler, I don't understand. It will not die.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
else I have sitting over here, I have a TRX4 Sport, another TRX4 Sport, a Bronco just left here. My buddy bought a brand new Bronco, and literally 3 minutes, literally out of the box, 3 minutes on flat ground, the steering servo literally quit working.
Damn.
I mean, and that's no lie. He came and got it today. He got a servo off of me because I keep the 35 kgs in here from AliExpress, the waterproof ones that are like $17. I
I
buy
wish
them
I
4
would
at
have
a
known about
time,
that before I bought that Enjoyer one.
and their 35 kg servo. That company actually puts out 42 kg.
Really?
And if you're running it, yes, and if you're running it, it'll take clear up to 8.4 volts. And if you're running on 8.4 volts, you can get almost 50 kg out of a 35 kg servo.
Wow.
He's running a AM32 ESC on there, so we cranked the voltage up on it. But I mean, he was going to send it back in for warranty, and I'm like, dude, I'll just sell you a servo for 50.
AM32 on a 24 scale. That's what everybody's running on these. That's what that
They're
one is.
good. They're a good ESC, man. I'm running the clone AM32 now from
That's the
AliExpress. You can
clone.
buy them for $15.
Yeah, that's a Goop RC
Ally.
brushless system, and it's a AM32 clone. Like our buddy, he's he's Dungeon's buddy, and I got introduced to him through that and started watching him. Jerry's old guy review.
Oh,
over in the
OG,
last-
yeah.
Yeah, he has been pumping up a company that I've been watching whenever I got the Turtleator. It's Rolarlo.
Yeah.
They're coming up. They're doing some innovation stuff, and they've got good trucks, pretty good, but they have proprietary parts replacement. There's nothing on the aftermarket whatsoever for these trucks, and where they're across the pond, it's hard to get parts for them. You're waiting. I can't go to the hobby store and get parts. I can't go to Amazon and get parts as easily for them as you can for the other manufacturers. And that, to me, that just totals out their business model no matter what, because proprietary parts, yeah, you're getting all the money all the time, no matter what. But people are looking for whenever they come into the hobby is availability.
Yeah. Unless you're like me and you're in the middle of nowhere and you're driving 70 miles to a hobby shop anyway. So,
right. Well, there aren't very many hobby shops in West Virginia anyway that are any count.
No. When you go in and ask for anything other than Vanquish,
they run at that hobby shop.
They'll laugh you out the door if you go in there and be like, "Hey man, I need a, Red Cat Gen 8 or an Element something," or you know what I mean? They don't carry. I used to run Red Cat fifth scale stuffed gassers, along with the ball hauls and stuff, and that hobby shop used to carry the HPI old stock because HPI had basically tits up back in the day. And I went in there because my buddy went in and he was like, "Oh, he's selling Red Cat stuff in there." And I had a Red Cat MT that was super modified, had an OBR reed engine on it. And it was insane. And I remember I needed a clutch bell, went in there, and they had them hanging on the wall, and they didn't even want to take the time to reach up and pull a clutch bell out off the wall to sell it to me. They acted like they were bothered by it just because it had the Red Cat name attached to it, and I'm like, well, you can kiss my ass. I'm never coming back here to this hobby shop. So,
well, I went into the local one around here to get a servo for this.
Same owner at that one. It's the same guy who owns the one by you.
They had Xmax was the best one that they had. I was like, no, but it would have burned up in a heartbeat. So
yeah,
more redneck engineering. Hey, what's up, Nas? I put a WPL 16 scale, like a C21 scaled trucks. Yeah, C21 on the front of
C21, 24. They're all they're all.
I took an old ramp crab servo bound off, and I epoxied that bigger servo.
They actually make pretty decent servos.
Yeah, to this 24 scale, it works. But I wasn't going to put one of those little off-brand servos that they had on this truck because it's all upgraded. Like you was saying about that Sin Racing truck, the only thing on it was the body. Well, the only thing left on this that's stock is the drive shafts and this one piece of metal that's been made to two that I made frame extensions for to get the torque twist out of it and stuff. So I mean,
what's crazy though, man?
I wish that Rule had more available parts abilities.
There's a lot of brands that have facilities in the States and a lot of hobby shops. Like I just looked at Cross RC, and Cross RC has a facility in Ohio, which actually is only the Cross RC place is only like 3 hours from my house, and you won't find a hobby shop. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's like Orijo. I don't know how you pronounce it, Ohio, but I looked it up from my house. It's like a 3-hour drive, and it's a warehouse stocking. Right, but you won't find a hobby shop in Ohio that carries Cross RC. It doesn't make any sense to me because their parts are there. They have it's a giant. Actually, it's pretty cool because there's another place in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and a lot of there's a military distributor there that builds military vehicles for the U.S. military, right. And crazily, Cross RC is really big into the scale military trucks, and the employees that work for Oshkosh for the military actually cross over and they work over at Cross RC. But you would think that they would have you would think Cross RC would be more prominent, at least in the state that they got a huge facility there. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Dirk said that they're in however you say that word right there in Ohio.
Yeah, that's it. Oregania.
Your guess is as good as mine because wait a minute. Yeah, because a bunch of them worthless nuts up there in Ohio have to have words so hard to say,
Yeah, I just thought it was crazy, man, that you would think, I mean, you know, West Virginia, Ohio, I mean, you know, shipping wouldn't be anything for hobby shops to get, you know,
Oh
products
yeah,
shipped to them
no
from
kidding.
there to there. I mean, you would think more hobby shops would have, and they make some really nice shit. I mean, dude, they make
Yeah,
some really nice stuff if you
yeah,
really look into it.
especially the
Their
scale stuff.
their 6x6 has a lot better axle setup underneath of it. I just ordered one, the AT6, and I love my, you know, TRX6 hauler, but they have the way they set up their 6x6, you can buy just one axle and it'll fit the front, middle, and rear axle. So you don't have to have a special setup axle for your middle axle for your outdrive. For the rear,
Similar,
for the
not
drive shaft.
exactly the way, but similar to the way Red Cat did with the Everest 10 when they put the front axle on the rear and just solided it, you know, to where it wasn't steering, but you could put a steering servo on
Right.
it and make it a front axle or four-wheel steer.
Uh,
Yeah.
it just,
That was
I didn't realize, you know, a lot of those companies, though, like you think companies would be, uh, you know, like that would be carried in local hobby shops. Because I went online and looked in Ohio at Ohio online just to see, you know, what was available inside hobby shops. And you would think that they would carry a product where they have a facility, but I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me.
I hear you.
Yeah, that was the hardest part building my hauler was I ran aftermarket TRX6 axles. Well, I shouldn't have ran aftermarket to start with, but you had to have each individual axle front, middle, and
Yeah,
rear.
because you had to pass through for the middle one, and then you had the
Yeah.
regular one for the back.
That's why with
Every-
that thing, after
I
struggling
knew I was
with-
going to get this comment right here. Sorry. No,
Yeah, when-
he's got
when I was-
he loves
was-
that thing.
when I was building that, I knew I was going to do a 6-wheel drive basically. And I
Mhm.
remember having the struggles with that one. And I was like, I was watching Matt's Off Road, the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I'm a very big fan.
So I got the idea that he's doing on his right now of running separate drive lines to each rear axle.
That's
So,
where
yeah.
you got that idea.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it made my life a lot easier because I got the RBX 10 axles because they're really wide and they're open differentials.
Right.
But then I just had to get 2 rears and I didn't have to worry about a pass through. So I just used carrier bearings and ran 2 different drive shafts to each rear axle. And that thing has not had a single issue. Whereas the hauler, I've had those rear axles torn apart probably 6 times since I built the thing, just trying to keep them working.
Right.
And this thing,
Oh man,
after I put that
I've
thing
not
together,
broke anything on mine yet.
well, I shouldn't have gone with the aftermarket axles that I went with. They're aluminum housing, but the pass through, or no, the far rear, no, it was the pass through axle. Nothing was machined correctly. I wound up having to flip it upside down because they put the pinion gear on the wrong side when they put it all together.
Oh,
So it was my fault for going with that cheap of an axle, but I didn't want to go with plastic axles. And so I had nothing but issues with trying to do a pass-through axle. So that's why that one doesn't have pass-throughs. And
I understand that.
I just used that idea from Matt's Off-Road, and that
you might look into those AT6. They sell aluminum housing AT6 axles too, and their transmission's actually cool because they use the same, like, it's like a proprietary transmission. So it has like almost like what you would consider maybe like an old school, almost like a PTO hookup. So to run the secondary or whatever, third member, whatever you would call it on a 6x6.
Tag axle or whatever. Yeah.
But they sell an aluminum solid axle, CNC milled. They're not even that bad in price, really. For their, I think I bought the AT6, and they make the other hauler. I don't know what the other hauler is. It's the same system, but all of their trucks across the board use that same transmission. So they don't have 20 different part numbers. So
Right.
you just use the one transmission, and it's built in one unit transmission transfer case. They make some really nice stuff, man. They even make like actual carbon fiber axle housings for their units and stuff. I mean, they make some really. I totally overlooked them when I started getting into the 6x because I really like the 6x6 stuff. It's one of my favorite trucks just to go out and man, they're tanks, dude. Like I mean, my hauler the stuff I've done with that thing is insane.
Look what Matt does with his 1-to-1 6x6. I mean, he crested the top of that daggone sand dune out there, son, like he was on regular ground.
Yeah, they're a beast, man.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to look into that because that's the one Achilles heel of my little hauler is that the axle system that's in it. So
I remember whenever you were building it, that you fought it a little bit when you were building it. Because you had to flip it over and everything. Oh,
the film does no justice because I rewatched that video actually just a couple of nights ago, just because I have one of the viewers that I've gotten in contact with. He actually is the one who 3D printed the inserts for the semi, doing inserts for the hauler because that was the other thing with that one was the tires just go flat.
Just went flat, yeah.
So he's making inserts for that.
That's cool.
But where was I going? I just totally brain farted.
I went.
Yeah. I really lost my train of thought.
Wow, he's been hanging around us too much, Dungeon. We're rubbing off on him.
Oh yeah. So the filming of that, filming it seemed like it was only a couple hours. That was 2 days I spent just on that rear axle, just trying to figure out how can I get this thing to work, and then having to flip it over and make new mounts for the upper links and cut
real
off.
Quick, they weren't GRC brand, were they?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because I was looking at getting those for my hauler, and I don't want to have the same issues you have.
There you go. Yeah, good to ask questions. You know what I mean? Especially that.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I want is the aluminum housing to give me a little more weight down low.
Yep. So everybody
I usually end up hauling one out that's broken 2 or 3 miles down the trail. That hauler hauls the vehicle out every time we go. That's broke.
Look here, that's sexy. This looks like it's been sitting in a West Virginia hauler for about 10 years or 60 years. Hold on, let me solo you out because I
had a lot of fun doing this rust on this thing. That was actually a lot of fun. But let's see.
I took a little bit of your advice that you've got. Oh, never mind. I did not take yours. Mine. Go ahead. I forgot you got metal stuff. I got plastic.
Yeah. Yeah, they're so off-brand. I don't even know the names of them, but
wow, so they're really off-brand. Oh, okay, yes. Easy Boy RC had a set of those under his high trail.
He didn't like them either. He had a problem with them too, didn't he?
Yeah, don't. Yeah. Just heads up. Everything else works great except for the 2 rear axles.
Yep.
Well, see, GRC has the high clearance aluminum housing axles for the TRX4 and TRX6 platform. That's why I was asking, because that's why I was looking at going with the GRCs. They have high clearance steering knuckles.
Right. Is that the Malibu sitting back there on the toolbox?
Yes.
Would you show these ladies and gentlemen that, sir? Because that right there is a badass rig.
Oh, hell yeah.
I knew Dungeon would like it. He just got this one done.
Yep. And if
I like that.
You see anything you're missing right there, Dungeon?
I like that.
See anything it's missing?
He's got an independent front suspension on it.
Yeah, but you see, there's 3 things missing on that truck that most people would think would be on that truck. Well, 4 things, actually.
Windows?
No, not the windows. Front drive shafts and front axles.
Well, technically speaking, all I did was take the drive shafts out.
Right. Oh, okay.
So the front
it's more like a free runner setup.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The front differential is still in here.
Oh, okay. You just took the. I got
Yeah,
you.
I just took the axle shafts out. I just wanted a 2-wheel drive to
Right,
make it like
right.
a 3-runner.
I'm doing the 24 scale. Hopefully here pretty soon like that.
That is sweet.
I will say this: I understand why they don't do 3D printed bodies on fast RCs that can crash.
Oosh.
Right. They don't totally. His didn't totally explode, at least.
No, but I also ran into a tire at like I was off the throttle and on the brakes, and it ran into the back of the tire of my 4Runner at 3 miles an hour, and it put a crack all the way across the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
anything hard body.
It
looks cool though.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks cool, and it actually handles really well.
I was getting ready to ask if it did handle well. I haven't seen it run yet.
Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot of footage with it just because my dog had emergency surgery.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I meant to ask you, how is the dog?
He's doing good now. He's
good.
Finally eating again, and he's acting more like himself. So we're really happy about that.
Yeah, because we're all dog lovers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a It's crazy.
I was finishing this thing, and I was driving in the street, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take it out to the bike park tomorrow and put it up on the dirt, go over some jumps and some dirt and stuff like that. And then all that stuff went down. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to have it at the RC event next weekend. So I'm going to test it out there in the bashing area.
Heck yeah, man.
And I've already decided that as nice as this thing is, that if it just keeps breaking and cracking, I'm just going to plastic weld it all back together, and it's just going to look like a hoopty. So,
hey, there you go.
Can you reinforce underneath of it with styrene?
So a lot of people have been suggesting either doing the drywall tape
and shoe goo.
Yeah, shoe goo.
I do styrene.
Yeah, a lot of people have left suggestions off of this last video that I just put out yesterday. So
there's nothing that's going to save it.
Well, it never hurts to try. I mean,
yeah,
only 4 weeks to take the body off, so I'm just I'll try a few things, but right now where it's cracked, I don't know if you can see, but it is being held together with tape.
Thin styrene though will definitely reinforce it better than the drywall tape. Drywall tape and shoe goo works good for flexing, but when you're dealing with 3D print and hard bodies, styrene reinforcement's what I found to work. I mean, I have about 22 hard body rigs. That's mainly what I deal with is the scale hard body stuff. And if you're going to get rowdy with them, you can reinforce I make corner braces out of styrene, bonded up in it. You paint it, you'll never see it. You'll never know it's there. You just get thin. I can't remember the size of it, but I just ordered sheets off Amazon, and you can score it with a hobby knife and bust it. And you can get, you can bond it with just regular good old super glue if you want to be cheap about it. You don't have to buy the special bonding agent guys buy, or you can buy the stuff and make a slurry mix where you cut strips of styrene and put in, I believe it's acetone
or gasoline. Either one, you can make super glue.
Yeah, you can make slurry with the styrene strips and bond it down with that. But if you reinforce that body with that styrene, I highly doubt you'll break it. I mean, I had one I broke in half into 2 pieces, and I bonded it back together with styrene, give it back to my buddy, and he's a comp guy. He runs class 1 on the rocks with it's a Mojave body that's been dovetailed, bobbed, and everything, and he kept busting it. He did an entire comp this year, winter comp with it indoor, and that truck took 10-15 foot tumbles on the concrete, and he was like, damn dude, this thing never broke on me again. And I was like, it adds a little bit of weight to them, but not much, because styrene don't weigh a whole lot.
Well, when you're building one like that right there, you're not really worried about a whole lot of weight issues anyway. And that's the reason I brought that up.
Yeah, all my RCs are incredibly heavy for what they are.
Mine too.
So I'm not the one thing I'm least concerned about any of my RCs is the weight. Just
yeah,
because there's no reason to worry about it because they are fatty.
I'll sacrifice performance for scale.
Yep.
Yeah, when you make them all out of
Yeah.
heavy metal and then start adding more metal
3/8
to it.
inch square tubing and stuff. But yeah, Mike, that's the reason I brought that truck up, is because I remember on the live you saying that you had already did some damage to it. And
Yeah.
I knew this fella right here. He runs scale stuff all the time, and the way he drives, he's got to fix his daggone bodies all the time, because he's like the rest of us, right foot, right foot, right foot.
I've taken my TF3 off of 5-6 foot jumps doing videos, and everybody always says that the RC 4-wheel drive trucks, the axles break like glass and all that horse shit. And I had one video where I jumped that truck, I think 7-8 times off of a 2-foot jump down into a creek bed, which was another foot drop. So might as well say almost 3 feet. Never broke an axle. The cab did bust on it from the G-force of it landing, because the truck weighs almost 9.5 pounds. Because it's a heavy scale truck, you know, when you start putting figures in them and, you know, brass inserts on my wheel weights and all that stuff. I mean, but yeah, I don't, that's what I always use to reinforce mine. That's how I fixed the cab on mine. I mean, it busted. How the RC 4-wheel drive Mojave, you got the cab and the bed, and you got 2 points here. It's almost like a hinge. You got, you know, 2 screws, M3, and then nylon lock nuts come through. You got a pinch point here and a pinch point here. I sheared it off. I jumped it so hard, which I thought, man, I don't know how it didn't bend the chassis, because you would think with it, maybe it flexed like a real pickup. I don't know, but it busted the mount points in. So I just went in with styrene, layered it, re-drilled it, and bolted it back together. That was almost 2 years ago, and I've been beating that truck since it came out, the TF3 platform. I don't know, it's old now. They've discontinued it, but that fixed it. So if you're looking, it'll work the same with 3D printing, because styrene bonds with any of that, any kind of plastic, ABS, any of that. I mean, styrene and ABS are real similar to one another, but
yeah.
Well,
I reinforced my 3D printed topper with it too, so it should work for you.
Yeah, that's the reason I brought that Malibu up, is so that maybe he could give you an idea to fix that thing. It might work. Yeah,
well, that's once again, that's why I like this community, is you get all sorts of different ideas that you would never even think of.
Right.
Like I was sitting there thinking, I'm just going to plastic weld this thing back together, and it's going to look like, you know, somebody who bought a wrecked ass body and then stuck a really nice chassis underneath it. That's what this thing was going to turn into. But I'd like to keep it somewhat nice. I mean,
you can even take styrene and hit it with a hair dryer and push it down into, if you want like corner grooves and you don't want to cut pieces, that thin styrene, you can heat it with a hair dryer. You don't want to use a heat gun. Hair dryer works really good, and just slowly put pressure on it, and you can mold that styrene in a mold. You can actually, I've made hood braces for some vehicles. I've used them to make hood braces and reinforce, make firewalls, and then you can go in there and recut that out, and you can actually make a scale engine bay and mold your fender well into to like the inside of your truck cabs or whatever you're doing. You can actually mold that styrene. It's really like a I like styrene better than 3D print. My entire Rust Bucket Blazer, I can grab it and show you. It's over here. I built the whole inside of it is done with black styrene, fender wells, radiator support, core support, firewall. I built all that, hand built all that with styrene. It's all, and I mean, that truck's we rolled it off a 15-foot. It probably rolled 40, 50 times before it got to the bottom. It weighs 13.7 some pounds. And
that's not the one that's not the one that rolled there recently, right? That's the one. The one that rolled recently was that Toyota, wasn't it? That cracked up.
Yeah, the Toyota.
Man, that was a hell of a crash. I wish they'd have caught it on camera.
This is what styrene. That's what you can do with styrene.
Hold on,
there.
I'll throw you out there, Dungeon. Give me just a second there.
Yeah.
And you're good. Oh yeah.
That entire thing.
Yeah, the other way. There you go.
Yeah, that entire engine bay there, that's all done with molded styrene. None of that is. I'm trying to get to where you can maybe see the radiator support. That's all.
Yep,
All of this is
yeah.
all styrene. And this truck weighs almost 14 pounds. But all of this is built styrene. This truck, you can see where it's taking hits. I mean, I've broke leaf springs because it's so heavy, but it is what it is. They're leaf springs. If you're doing stupid shit in the real world, you're going to bend leaf springs.
I broke them. I broke them. Now,
I break link ends on mine all the time just because of the weight.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I broke on Turtleator whenever I hit the neighbor's driveway, 8-inch driveway drain at full tilt. I mean, that son of a gun. I mean, she hit. I pulled her back out. Well, I drove her all the way back to me, and I knew she had a little limp leg. I done thought I tore the control arm and everything off of it. It was the plastic link end was the only thing it broke. It didn't bend the link, didn't do nothing. I mean, that truck should have been smashed. I mean, totally, and that's all it broke on that.
One of my
usually heavier weight ends up usually means more breakage.
Yeah.
My very first piece together one that I did a video on, that thing took off the tip of my finger, and when it happened, I actually threw it, and it still works.
You think? I'd have threw the son of a gun too. He said it cut off the end of my finger and I threw it.
Well, once it let go of my finger, I'm certainly going to throw the thing.
You better damn believe it.
Yeah,
hold on there. I'll pick you back up.
This one's been used quite a bit.
Yeah, it's the same body I got.
Yeah, it's a great little body, honestly.
Oh yeah, the Proline Hilux.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I have beat the ever living everything out of this thing and through it, and it still just keeps going. And my wife drives this one, and it still keeps going. But she's got a trigger finger. It's on or off. There's no
right pedal, right pedal, right pedal.
Yep. No pinch jump. That's why her 4Runner is built with one of my frames that I made so that she can do stuff like that, and it just takes it and keeps going.
Yep, I'm telling you what. Well, I'll tell you what, Mike. I've taken up probably enough of your night. You probably got some other stuff you can get into there this evening. Any last words? Anything?
Honestly, no. The main thing that I always try to do with my channel is just to show exactly what you guys are talking about, the same thing, show people to just do what you want and have fun and, listen to other people, take other people's advice. But at the end of the day, don't
do your own research.
Don't just do what everyone else is doing. Cause then that's at certain events. That's what bugs me is like, you go out to all the certain events and you see the same RC just painted differently.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, that's right now in the 24 scale crawler community. You've got let's put it this way. As of right now, you got 3 bodies running around the 24 scale community that everybody's doing. That's the R60 Toyota. That's the Bug Enjoy body that they just come out with.
Which is badass.
Yeah.
And the, I'm sorry, Alex, but the Power Wagon. There's a lot of those, I mean, and it's just everybody's trucks different ways. And there's, Earl, he's got that, he's got the R60 on one of his Ascents, and, everybody's got them. They're beautiful. I really, 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 really want one so bad I can taste it, but I can't do anything right now with it that anybody hasn't done because everybody and their brother has one, except for maybe change the paint on it or rustificate it up a little bit. I made this Cat Eye Chevrolet look like a real Chevrolet. It's got holes all over it.
Yeah, well, that's why when I built the comp crawler,
check this one out, y'all.
When I built this one, that's why I decided to go with the Volvo body, was just because it wasn't the Power Wagon.
Yeah,
like the Power Wagon or the Willys Jeep or or
the FJ 40.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
dude, my son would love that. He loves those Volvos.
yeah.
My ex-wife had one just like it, dude. Those things will move in the real world. I mean,
Oh,
they
yes,
get
they
go.
will.
She had the sedan, not the wagon.
Yeah, so that's why I went with this body, was because I wanted to be different, and the internet's a hell of a place. And so
Yeah, I know, right?
I found this Volvo body. I was like, Power Wagon or Volvo? Which one should I do? I think I'm going to go with the Volvo. And so yeah, I cut it up, and it wasn't a cheap body, to say the least, and it came all the way from Ukraine. So like, it was hard to get, but at the same time, what other comp crawler is running around looking like this thing?
Right,
Was
right.
that for a touring car to begin with?
Yeah, for a touring car or a drifter car, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I did the same thing with the Mercedes. My
Hold on, Alex.
I think I've seen that Volvo in videos before. I think.
I
You
think
had
it was
have
in
you
one
had
of the first
content
ones
on
I
that one?
sent you.
Yeah, I thought it looks familiar to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I was really trying to show people, like, hey, you can build your own, just piece it together with internet parts. I was like, and then you can put whatever body you want on it. So then I went and did this.
That is definitely different.
Wait, turn it around. There's more.
Yep. It's also a tow truck, so
Yeah.
got a winch in there and everything. But that's the whole goal of my channel, is to show people you can be weird, you can be different. Like, there's nothing wrong with this thing. Actually, there's the transmission's blown on it, so there is something wrong with it.
Right pedal, right pedal.
Yeah. No, this was
I really like that though.
It's
well, yeah,
awesome.
like, I love this thing to death, but that's why I like being weird. I like being different. Like, I don't need to have the same exact crawler all the way across. And you can take a drifter body, which for some reason that's what this is for a drift car.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so it's a drifter. Let me just poke different holes in it for the body mounts, and then put a tow truck and a roof rack on it and see what happens. And that's what I love the most about this hobby, is that you can be that weird, you can be that different, and you can have so much fun and just do stuff that isn't the same thing as everybody else's.
Right,
You know?
right. We got a guest here coming on, Mr. Nothing Stock 83. He's my brother from another mother. Helps out with the channel all the time on the lives. Dungeon, you know Alex. Alex, you know Dungeon.
Oh yeah.
Mike, Alex, Mike.
Nice to meet you.
What's going on, bud?
Type in there. You can leave me in the background. My internet was screwing up, so I was getting in the background just to try to keep up with comments, because YouTube was doing stupid stuff. But
right. But I didn't see it, and it. You know me, I don't look at the right side of the screen half the time anyway. So that's the problem whenever I run Restream, is it tells you your person. Would you quit, computer? Your guest is coming up in the corner, and I never can see it. So like the first time I used Restream, I didn't see people trying to get in, and I couldn't let them on. But yeah, Dungeon, remember me telling you that I was going to make the box body for the PMAX, or have it made? That's where I got the idea of doing something crazy. And I've never seen a 4-wheel steer 24 scale box body Mustang. Have you all?
You're talking my language right there, brother. That's my favorite car.
We know that. We know that, Bob. Mike, one more question before we go. How old are you?
I am 38.
38. So you're close up in there to around all of us. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not
I'm the
super
oldest.
young.
Yeah. I'm the oldest, ain't I, Dungeon? I'm 77 model. You're 78, ain't you?
81.
81. That's right. Yep. And we all know from his name how old he is. He's an 83 model.
yeah, I like to mess with people, and when they ask me what year I was born, tell them the worst year in history for the Corvette.
Oh yeah. I mean, that ain't messing with nobody. That's the truth. Oh my God. We won't even have to go there. I mean, everybody knows about that.
But then you have the Corvette people arguing over which one of the worst years
of the 83 model was the worst one. Yeah. all of them.
As they're leaving cars and
Technically,
coffee.
they built 6, but they crushed 5 of them, and they shut down production in '83. So they never actually produced a 1983 Corvette for sale to the public.
Anybody, right? Yep. Man, Mike, I really appreciate you coming on, brother, and I really appreciate you throwing it out there that you was coming on the show. That helps out a lot,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just a little old channel trying to make it, and I'll get there from here. One day. I've had some pretty good guys come on to you, and real good people. That's the thing.
It all just takes time, and
Yep.
I know to other people my channel may seem big, but to me, I'm still a small channel. And
I see that all the time.
That's why a lot of the parts that I use, if people want me to use their parts, I've said it before, I have no sponsors, nothing like that. And I got one of the viewers made the tire inserts for that thing. The steering arms were from a very small company, just a really nice guy that I found online that made titanium steering arms for the Caprice, for the IFS2. And Black Sheep Chassis, they're a small company. They started he opened that company about the same time I started my channel. And we all have to help each other. That's the only way.
Exactly.
I'm not in this for fame or fortune or anything like this. I'm in this to honestly support my addiction right there. But we all have to help each other, and that's why I wanted to come on tonight, just to meet more people, get more ideas. I would have never thought of anything about styrene, so now I just learned something new. And that's the best part about the smaller RC community, is that we all communicate with each other. We're not
we have to, we don't have the YouTuber money like everybody does. Everybody thinks that you're doing a YouTube channel, you're making all kind of money. Well, I don't even make money yet. I don't care if I do. I'm on here.
You're better off not being monetized.
Show people some stuff that has worked for you in the hobby and that they can do it themselves is awesome. That's like I needed jack stands before. I wish he would have told me that he was sending me the jack stands, because 3 days before I get them in the mail, I made my hillbilly jack stand, just like we've all done. If you've been a redneck engineer and needed jack stands and you didn't have none, what'd you do? You went and got cinder blocks, bunch of logwood, whatever, So I made me some hillbilly jack stands. Yeah, they're all messed up there and look all beat up, because who was going to take square it off and use a good circular saw? No, we just take it on whatever the hell we had, reciprocator, skill saw, whatever, and just get it enough to where it would hold it,
Yeah.
I always called them hillbilly cinder blocks.
Yeah. And it's just, it is what it is. You take whatever material and knowledge you have and use it. And a lot of times you can, most of the time, get it done,
Oh, I've trust me, I've seen, because I've always encouraged people through my channel to send me pictures of their homemade builds.
Right.
And let's not kid ourselves. Mine, not perfect. Even if you see it in person, it's not perfect. And I'll never claim that it is. But I did the best I could with what I have. And some of the stuff that people send me, it's incredible. I've had a few guys send me stuff where they've made a trailer, or actually, no, it was at last year's RC Fest. He made an entire RC trailer that was a camper out of balsa wood.
Yeah. That's what I was telling you.
And then he used servos to make sliders. So
right here is the frame material that I used.
Yeah.
That I'm using.
And so his was all made out of the balsa wood, and then he had sliders like a real camper that slid out on servos, and then he had the back that folded down, where he brought his 24 scales in and out of it, and the servos were under the floor. And he said he was like $200 into the whole thing. He just literally went out in the back and got scrap wood, painted it up, and made it look good.
And it wasn't heavy to pull.
One of the other trailers I'm doing is going to be a working dump trailer. This is a bolt bin.
Yep.
That is perfect for 24th 18 scale. And I'm using this wood as the frame. It'll be painted gray, look like metal. Yeah.
See, that's why like, don't get me wrong, I watch the bigger channels as well, but I like watching the smaller channels just to get ideas.
Yeah.
Because everybody's creative in their own different ways, and you could find some idea that you didn't think that you would be able to do till you see somebody else. Like somebody sees your big jack stands, they're like, well, I got wood out back and a drill. I'll go make one of those real quick.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been stuck up on the daggone West Virginia holler up in a mud hole or, you know, outside of a mud hole because I got it out of the mud hole, but have to repair it to get it home. You ain't got jack stands. You ain't going to put no jack stands up underneath the truck here in West Virginia and West Virginia hills unless it's been like last summer was. We were like you all out there in California last summer from May.
On fire?
Oh, no. Right now, first week of April until third or fourth week of August, we didn't have a drop of rain for that long, all summer. You know, now that West Virginia ground would hold up a daggone truck on jack stands, but you know, you got to figure out something whenever you stuck up on the hill.
Yeah, and that's why I like the community that I've been coming around and seeing a lot of people, just everybody's helping each other out, giving different ideas and easier, cheaper ideas. Like not everybody's got to run around with a $2,000 Vanquish RC. Like you can get that Red Cat and just get out there and have fun.
Oh,
and like even all my spare parts that I have. So at the RC event that I'm going to this weekend, all the spare parts, I'm bringing them with me. Like, yeah, I use them for my spare parts, but I'm going to bring them with me so that if a kid out there breaks a link end, I'm giving him a link end and I'm going to put it on. That way he can stay out there and have fun.
Dude, yeah, that's awesome.
And I'll bring my tools and stuff because, you know, I can't bring all 17 of my RCs, especially one that I need to forklift into the bed of my truck. Like I can't spend an entire day driving every single one of my RCs all at once. So my plan is to just, you know, pull off to the side, have a good time. And if I see somebody like a kid walking by that's crying, oh, I broke my RC and they don't have the part. If I have the part, I'm going to give them the part, put it on there or show him how to do it if he wants to learn and get them back out there, have some more fun. And there you go. That's why I don't know about your guys' hobby shops out there. A lot of our hobby shops, where I'm at, they have repair areas, but you have to pay for it, obviously.
Right. Crawler shop here does, but I don't know about the Eds down here. I don't know if they do or not.
Yeah, but that's the kind of community.
One in Parkersburg by me, the bigger city. If you're paying to do his racing there, he has an area, but I mean, you're still paying to, you know, he charges you to use the track. So
right. Oh yeah. The pit crawl zone, they charge us to use the track, but he was talking about maintenance and stuff or repairs.
Yeah, but that's what I like about this community so much is, especially in the smaller time, like you get people out there just helping you, and I've had people help me along the way, and I try to help people along the way as well. Like just what goes around comes around.
Yep. That's something that you hit on, something that I wanted to let you know about. One of our community, well, actually a couple of them, started what they call the Gateway Project. And it is a project that finds people that are either in the hobby that have had devastating loss like fire, whatever, natural disaster, this, that, and the other, lost his job and just had to sell off all these cars. Or a kid that can't get into the hobby because maybe his home life isn't the greatest and he's having to live with his grandmother or something like that. And the community knew that I wanted to do it, and this guy down here knew that I was wanting to do it, and I was going to use the original parts off the axe to do it. Well, they I don't know if they all come together or all the stocks come together and helped out the channel by supplying ready to run AX24 for the giveaway. For the day that it happened, that he told me about this, I literally just that day had found out about a kid that was perfect for it. And I wanted to use this to show what this and this, the differences were, which I've had to do a lot of work to this to get it actually running again because it's long story. But that right there is going to a deserving kid that, like I said, you know, lives with his grandparents and doesn't have a way to get into the hobby. And just like you're saying, sorry, just like you were saying, the kid breaking something at the meet, you know, being able to get him back going. It's the best thing in the world to be able to see a kid that's so grateful and thankful, because I guarantee you that kid was going to go, but as soon as he broke that truck, he's going to go and, man, I'm going home. And just happen, here you come, you might have a part to have it, and it's going to make his heart just feel good inside, you know. And the support from the RC community, literally, hand on the Bible, whatever, has made me have faith in humanity again, because whenever I got back into RCs, I was pretty dark. Yeah, I had bad luck over the years, and then stuff that I've done on my own caused parts of it. You know, I own what I've done, and not going to try to walk away from it. But this RC community's really turned my head around on that way of thinking. There's a bunch of good damn people in this hobby, and I love every one of them. You know, it's awesome. It really is. And
like I can say from on a personal note, even no matter the bad that you've done in your past, just remember it's in your past.
Yep.
But at the same time, don't forget it, because it is who it made you who you
what
are
made
today.
you. Yep. Exactly right. Good words, brother. Good words. You know,
we all have demons. We all have a bad past, but you know what? You got to live up to it and just move on. And that's like, I've seen people do dark things and then turn around and start charities.
Yep.
Like,
and that's the thing, you know. And one more thing about it is, own what you've done. You know, own it. You know, yeah, I had a drug problem. Guess what? I don't no more. I don't have it anymore. You know, no big deal. I got a damn RC habit. How in the hell am I going to afford to buy drugs?
Right?
It's worth crack.
That's why I show on my channel all the mistakes that I make. Like, I don't hide my mistakes. Like, if I show you something that I did wrong, I'm going to show, like, yeah, I can edit it. I can go crazy and just change everything and be like, oh yeah, no, everything works perfectly fine. No, that's not real life. I spent 2 days trying to figure out a freaking axle. Like, I'm going to let everybody know, don't buy these things.
Speaking of that, they still ain't together, Alex.
I figured that.
Fight to set for 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you gotta.
Yep. Hey, there's a man right there. I didn't see him come in the house. Mr. Urban Legends up in here. What's going on, brother? And he has agreed to maybe come on the podcast. This man right here has a very good podcast, y'all. If you ain't watching it, then you should be. As Stoner Grump says, if you ain't subscribed, you should be right there. Urban's got a heck of a channel, and he's got a bunch of guys that are around him in his community that have some knowledge to put on you.
Oh,
isn't that right, Alex? You know, you've seen him a little bit, ain't you, Alex?
Yeah.
Mike, you been over seeing any of his stuff?
Yeah, I've actually watched a number of their podcasts, and they're really fun group of guys.
Oh, dude, yeah. I got in there with them the first time. They didn't know what to think of me, man.
Well, they are definitely knowledgeable, 100%. Like, they know 10 times more than I do. Like, I'm just a crawler guy that makes stuff out of metal. Like, they get into the real technicals. Now,
I've happened to be watching Urban's show there the other night. Oh, shoot, who was it he had on there? But they were sitting there talking, and come to find out, Mr. Urban Legend is a bow hunting aficionado. He said, by God, if it's out there, he can hit it. It's awesome. I love to bow hunt.
That explains why he's good at the bashers then. He's got
eye-hand coordination. That's the reason I'm no good at bashers, because I don't have any. I don't bow hunt anymore either.
I'm still practicing with my Xmax. Like, I'm not very good at it, but I'm practicing. I'm getting there. But the hand-eye coordination, no. These guys are talking about, oh, it's so easy to do backflips once you learn how to do it. I'm just
I can do backflips. I still ain't pulled off a front flip yet.
I can barely get mine to stop. Let alone do
I hear you. Now, on my 1240-17, its performance abilities, even on 2S, totally outweighed my driving said tiny car at high speed abilities by millions. I figured out I needed something that was just a little bit tougher than what I had. That's the reason I got the Ronaldo Omni Terminator.
That's why I have so many RCs. Is I got tired of crashing my own big cars, so now I can just crash these things all day long.
Hey, man, brother, see, that's the thing. I understand that because I would never did have the kind of money to be able to put into trucks, you know.
Crashing this thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, well, that really sucks. Well, at least it wasn't my $60,000 4Runner.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yep.
Well, brother, I'll tell you what. I'm taking up your night, enough time of your night there this evening. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. I'm going to leave up for one more question. We're going to get us one from the chat here. Anybody got anything they want to ask? And I'm going to pick the best. I'm going to pick the best one.
Or just the one.
Or just the one. Because I mean, you know, hey, there's a lot of people in here that would like to know something, probably. Which we have lost a few, but that's not bad. I saw 11 or 12 at the top on here on the view count, and that ain't always right either. Any questions, anybody? Anybody got any questions? I don't know. How long's the delay on this chat, Alex? Do you know? Is there any?
Not that I can tell.
Okay, because I know on Restream, everybody says there's about a 30-second delay on the chat coming up.
Yeah, well, that's when you're reading your live chat that you put on the screen. There's a 30-second delay in between the actual chat and the live chat.
Oh, and the one that I put on the screen? Okay, because, yeah, on Restream, it'll come over here. It'll move us over, and it'll have it on the side to where everybody can see it. Oh, yeah. Well, see, he's already told us. But you wasn't here, was you, Full Send? Yeah, no, you may not have been. They're asking, what's your next build?
For quite a while.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. After the
Now look closely at the picture. It's my wife.
oh, gee, I forgot because I'm the one that really. I figured it out on his live that night. I was like, wait a minute, she's answering. And wait a minute, 2, 2, 4. Hey, yeah, no, I knew why.
Yeah, she was answering questions on
your live, and that's where I was
picking live, and then she'd come out and yell at me when I did.
Yeah, come out and yell about it. That's right. I forgot it, Mama Waffles.
He could legitimately probably just yell towards the house, be like, "Come out to the garage and see."
Probably don't even have. She's probably right there.
Yeah, no, she's right on the other side of that wall. And
okay, in the house. I hear you.
Watching the chat right now. So
everything right. Yeah, and the thing was, I knew Full Send them, and I was like, wait a minute, where? And sorry, but
no. To answer that question, it's somewhat of a secret. It's another mud. It's not really a secret. It's just the body is a secret. And that's just because I filmed a hilarious little skit to reveal the body that I'm using. So
I hear you. That's cool. I hear you.
So
pretty bad when your own old lady throws you under the bus in front of a live audience, you know. I love it.
No different than in person. So
right. That's the way it is. I mean, Alex's old lady.
Hey, she can throw me under the bus all she wants. I embarrass her everywhere we go because I talk.
Now come on. So. All right, so I got a real one here. This one's from Dirk. Yeah. Oh, I can answer that one for him. Yes.
Go ahead and guess. So yes, heavy metal is my favorite music, but my playlist would confuse the ever living daylights out of everybody.
So would mine.
I grew up around music, and my dad was very into music, so I appreciate good music no matter what it is. So yes, I love heavy metal, but you can go through my playlist and you'll see all the death metal bands, and then all of a sudden Meghan Trainor. Like,
favorite jazz musician. There, I'll ask a good one. Favorite jazz musician.
Jazz musician? I honestly don't know.
Oh man,
I'm horrible when it comes to remembering names of bands or artists or anything like that. It's just if I hear a song that sounds good, I'm just gonna keep playing that song. But like anything from 2000 era Oakland rap to
Oh yeah,
death metal.
sipping on gin and juice, laid
Yeah.
back with my mind.
I mean, I'm in California. You got to
Yeah, I
listen to
mean,
it.
straight
It's
up.
pretty much like a requirement.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, you know, Snoop and Dre even made it into the hollers of West Virginia along with the Beastie Boys and ICP and
Now you're
you know,
talking. The Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
See, we're just a little older.
yeah, I listen to about everything, but yeah, my number one go-to is definitely heavy metal.
And you're as with me, it soothes you some, doesn't it? Makes you calm
yeah.
down and be able to think.
Yeah. No,
That's the thing. A lot of people don't understand, you know, with all of us in this era, they call it ADD, but I don't know what it is that it is ADD, but speed metal soothes your mind.
It honestly, to me, it does it when you're angry, anxious, sad, whatever. Like it just, for some reason, it calms me down. But I think I made a correlation is that as you're listening to it, you realize there's someone out there that's angrier than you.
And it's getting your mind off of whatever the hell it was that got you mad anyway, too. You know?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
I listen to music all the time. So like when I'm out here building these things and
yeah,
the
Dirk's like the rest of
Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean with a bipolar.
Yep. I'm Bach to BB King to Hank the Third to Disturbed. You know, Metallica, the Ramones, the very first ever heavy metal band in the world, and you can fight me if you don't think so, but go back and listen to it. But
no, this garage when the camera's off is just basically a death metal concert the entire time.
Yeah, well, the computer right now is sitting on my set of 12-inch Alpine subs that play a lot of metal, and this community around here that I live in is not too happy with me because there's only 2 young families on the street, and all the rest of them are 70s or up. And they tend not to like death metal, you know. They don't like War or you know, any of those guys, or Snoop and Dre, you know, Nate Dogg. They don't like him either.
They'll come around to it eventually.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I appreciate your time tonight, brother. I thank you for coming on, and thank you for everything, man. Thanks for inspiring me, man. I mean, really, you know it.
No problem.
There's guys here in the group too, like Dungeon. He was one of them whenever I first started watching. That just showed me that you don't have to have a lot of money, and have taken on, figured out that I'm not just a dumb redneck hillbilly everybody thinks I am. I got a little bit of squishy stuff going on between my ears that works, you know. And Scabby Scab, everybody in the chat, Andy Ritchie, Dirk Psycho 13 Garage. I'm gonna skip over full send them, you know, because you can tell her good job.
Hey,
I
she'll try nothing to hurt you. Better be careful. You don't take her out, or you.
No. I will make sure to remember Mama Waffles from now on.
Just remember,
Earl,
we'll find you.
Urban. Let's see who else we got in there. James, Scabby Scab. If you're still here, brother. That's another one right there that's helped me in this community. He was the one that screwed up and let me on my first live, and it's been hell ever since. Nas, all you guys. Let's see, Coffee Cup. Hey, right there's a heck of a basher right there too. Coffee Cup puts up some pretty good content with some bashers, with some crawlers, with everything. James RC Garage, he's got crawlers, he's got 10s, he's got 24s. You know, Urban Legend, we've seen that daggone collection. Mayhem Crawlers, another good one. I'm telling you guys, thank all y'all for coming in. If I missed anybody, you make sure to call me out on it, all right? Because I will apologize with all my heart.
Well, I want to thank you for having me on, because this was a lot of fun, and it's nice to know that I like hearing people say that you encourage me to do this.
Yep, man, I'm telling you, it's awesome. And really, if you ever need any. If you ever have any questions that I would be able to help with, no matter what, I'll try to help. If I know or not, I'll help find out. There's a lot of stuff that I do know in this hobby, and there's everything else that I don't know, you know.
That's
You're
the cool
always
part
learning in this hobby. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's
I was just about to say the same thing, that nobody knows everything about
Oh no.
the
Well, I
the
do know
hobby.
one thing. There is a man that has an encyclopedic knowledge of anything 24 scale, especially if it has anything to do with mofo, and that's Jim Rockwolf Designs on YouTube. He doesn't do a lot of content on working on stuff or anything else. He does some lives, or he gets on lives and stuff, but the man has knowledge that's uncomparable, and also a pretty much a semi it would be a functional part RC part store for 24 scale crawlers, at least a good tire shop anyway. Because the man's got a collection. Well, guys, we're going to get off of here, and thanks everybody for coming in and watching. And guys, peace out, Girl Scouts. We'll see y'all later. If I don't see you before it rains, you know what to do. Later, guys.
Yeah.